Hi everyone, this is Srikanth Chityala. So today I'm going to discuss about Jenkins. I'll be giving the overview of Jenkins and what I'll be also discussing about the CIC, what is CI/CD, and what are the CI/CD tools. So and also discuss. I'm going to discuss about Jenkins introduction. So first I will go to the Jenkins introduction. Jenkins, it's a you can say plugin based tool or framework, you can say, since Jenkins is a platform where you can install the plugins and you can use use the resources. So that is the Jenkins. Jenkins we can call a CI/CD tool, since we can do the automation by using the CI/CD. As we see, as we know, in the DevOps tools, see this Jenkins will play a vital role, because all the configuration part and the code and building the code and testing and till the deployment to the monitoring section. So everything will be configured and will be used by the Jenkins. So it will Jenkins will take care of this automation process. In the market, we have so many tools, CI/CD tools. So the Jenkins, Bamboo, TeamCity, Travis CI, and so many tools. Um, uh, but the Jenkins is very more popular since it is a free and open source. Anybody can use. Anybody can install and use it without any this single penny. But other tools are not like that. They have to pay like money, they have to pay license money. So it is not expensive, but based on their features, they will be keeping the price. uh, but Bamboo is the best tool. It's a Atlassian product. So Atlassian product are great, products are very good. They are easy to use. Bamboo, Jira, and Confluence and Bamboo, and so many tools are there. But Bamboo, it's CI/CD. It is famous for CI/CD, but it's very convenient to use. It is the viewing is very is far better than Jenkins, since all the tools are integrated in Bamboo. Uh, uh, so TeamCity, Travis, yeah, so they are having their own features. So that is about the CI/CD tools. So if we come to the Jenkins, so first this Jenkins developed by a Japan developer. His name is uh, something is weird name. Let me show you that. So his name is Kawasuki Kawagashu. Where is that? Yeah, here. So this is the developer, developer this Jenkins. Actually, before Jenkins, it is the name. It is called Hudson. So the first release it has happened in the 2004. Sorry, 2005. But developer in 2004. So then it has Hudson name. But later in 2011, it is acquired by the Oracle. So, and due to some disputes between this Hudson and Oracle, so they changed name to the Jenkins. So that name is continuous till the time. So Jenkins, it's a, um, developed by Java programming. So we have to install the Java on your system to support the Jenkins. So Jenkins in Hudson will be having 32 projects, but now in Jenkins we have more than thousand plugins in their marketplace. So and Jenkins is releasing their versions by every week. So we are in the right now. I think the 2.24245. I think the current version is, but still it is releasing so every week. So this is very famous for for CI/CD. So continuous integration, continuous delivery means, so continuous integration is compiling the code and building the code and testing the code. So this process continuously rotating process. So that's what we call as a continuous integration. Continuous delivery and deployment. It's a deployment. You're deploying the code onto the servers. So that's what we call as a deployment or delivery. So that the only difference between delivery and deployment is, if you're deploying this application onto the non-production server, that is called delivery, and and if you're deploying the same application onto this production servers, so that is called deployment. So the naming is different, but every process is the same for delivery and deployment. So in CIC, the process is like this. First, we plan. I mean, this is a work. This is the DevOps workflow. So this planning is just a documentation. So in between this, and let me pick a good diagram. CIC. So this is the process we already know. So this is a DevOps process. So here the Jenkins will play a vital role in between this process. This the black and green. So the planning, the code will be there, and building, testing, and releasing deployment. This is the process will continuously rotating. So Jenkins will do this process automated way. Like we will configure the Git, whatever the Git tools, code tools are there, like Git or GitHub or Bitbucket, any version control tool. So in your organization, that tool you are going to configure in Jenkins, and the build you're going to configure build tools and testing tools, or the deployment and operating tools. So anything that will be configured in the Jenkins. So Jenkins will take care of everything, this automation process. So here you can see that this black planning, code, build, testing. So this is the continuous integration part we usually call. So since this process is a rotating way, so rotating means we are not deploying our application each and every build, right? So if everything, if the feature is ready in the testing in the continuous integration part, then we are try to deploy onto the server. So delivery or deployment part. So that will be, we are going to configure this deployment tools or release or deployment operating tools in the Jenkins. So as I told, Jenkins is a plugin based tools. Everything, whatever we want to use, that those tools need to be, those plugins those plugins need to be installed in Jenkins. So in the Jenkins, we have so many tools, like I think 4,000, 5,000. Still plugins are coming in the plugins are developing by the third-party vendors. They are deploying into the Jenkins marketplace. So we are free to use any plugin. There is no cost effective to use. So that is about small introduction of CI/CD. So in CI/CD we have so many tools, and so CD tools, CD also we have so many tools. So those part I'm not going to discuss. So let me discuss about the Jenkins dashboard. This is our Jenkins dashboard. So where we will create a jobs and to do this automation part. So this is left hand side is the this is Jenkins configuration part, and this is, if you see on the body section, these are the jobs where you can, whatever the task you want to implement, first you need to create a job, and then you can configure as per your requirement. So this is the Jenkins basic Jenkins dashboard. So they have this is not the final dashboard. If whatever the tools you will be installing, so those tools will be added upon here based on their feature and requirements. So this is basically, if you install any Jenkins plugin for Jenkins for the first time, you are going to see this is this kind of a basic view. So on the left hand side, so this is the first property of Jenkins. So this is called new item. So new item means this is a new job, you can say. If you want to perform any task, you should create a new job. Then you can give a name. You can say job name. So you can give anything, my first job, like that. No spaces. You should be giving the single word job name. There is no special character to be added. See, you will get this kind of error. So only hyphen and underscore will be acceptable, not other than. So this is my first job. So these are the types of jobs you can create based on your type of requirement. This is a freestyle. Freestyle means you can get all the properties of the Jenkins configuration. And what are the plugins you wanted to use, you can configure in the freestyle. Not pipeline jobs. So for the pipeline jobs, you need to select this pipeline. So where you can create a declarative or scripted pipeline. I mean, scripting part, you can say. Instead of GUI part, you want to give the condition basis, just programming type. So that for that you need to select the pipeline job. So people usually select this freestyle job for the basic task. Uh, uh, and if you want for the condition based jobs, for that you need to create a programming type of jobs, that is pipeline. So this is freestyle you can use. This Maven project means if you want to create a Maven project, so then you can select this Maven project. We can also implement this Maven project in freestyle job also, but you want to have a dedicated type of job, then you can select this Maven project. So multi configuration means if for the more configuration part, then you need to select this configuration part. But usually we won't select. In the real time, people will going to switch to this freestyle job or Maven project or pipeline. These are the main project. So Maven will be included in the freestyle also. So I would say pipeline, freestyle, both these are the important type of jobs. And the folder concept will be used for the high-end projects, like they have the big project, and they want to segregate repos individually, and give the permissions to the folders, not to the entire Jenkins. In the organization we have a so many big project. So in the big project they are having the sub repos. So they will create a folders and keep the sub repos in that particular folder, and give the permissions to the particular folder, not the entire Jenkins. So this will be used for the security purpose, you can say. We don't need to give the permissions to the entire Jenkins, where people can handle and manage the Jenkins server. So this is a better way to create a folder and give the permission to the particular folder. So to your developer, they will be having a separate folder, and give the permission to that particular folder, so they can able to open that folder only. So that is folder. And GitHub organization, this is just like same like the GitHub project. So this will be also included in the freestyle project. So multi-branch project, if you have a multiple branches, then you can configure here multiple branches. By default, you'll be getting the one branch, but in freestyle you can also add multiple branches. So that's the reason why we call it freestyle jobs. So uh, all the features will come in the freestyle, not only part is pipeline won't come into the freestyle job. So and the next part is copy from. This copy from will be useful when you have a already existing job. You did all the configuration in that particular job, and you'll be using that, but you wanted to create a same replica of that job. So instead of creating new job and give the same configuration to that particular job, so being a time waste, right? So that's why what you will be doing, you will be creating a new job, but from the existing job configuration. Suppose if I select, I have some dev job and test job in my dashboard. So if I select this one, whatever the configuration is there in the particular job, so I'll be getting all the configuration in the current job. So that's why later you can change it. It's not like that if you select that you can't change later. You obviously you can change that, but you, for the time sake, you will be selecting this one. That's it. So this is copy from. And not only this, as I told you, what are the plugins you will be installing on the Jenkins. So those plugins on the based on features that will be adding here. If you are if you are installing a type of jobs plugin, then that will be adding here. So this is a basic dashboard where you will be getting in the first time installation. So that's it. Select OK. Oh, sorry, I didn't select any type of job, right? So I'm sorry. Uh, I should select at least one type of job. So that maximum one, not one, at least one. So I have selected freestyle job. Then the dashboard, Jenkins job configuration dashboard will be visible. So these are the categories of a job. For any job. This is general category where you can define where this project need to be run, and disabling the project. Anyway, I'm going to discuss every point, so better to. So general section. Oh, okay, this is a new version, means I think this is a new comment agent Docker containers. Commit doc agent Docker container. So I think this is a new feature when a job completes the Docker slaves. So actually, this is Docker container. Suppose wait, let me show. When a job completes, the Docker slave instance is committed with the repository based on the job name and build name. Yeah. So this is basically, when you're dealing with the Docker containers, and you are using a Docker container as an agent. So in that case, whenever you commit some new changes, so those new changes will be updated on the existing Docker container. So that is the meaning of this section. If you check it, then whatever the updates will be there to the existing container, so those updates will be added to the Docker container. So that's it. So define. I'm going to discuss the Docker. It's at advanced level. So I'm going this actually why I'm seeing this modules, right? I'm using the latest Jenkins version. So that's why they implemented those features in the version in this version. So that's why I'm able to say, even if you are using old version, no need to worry, because if you install the Docker plugin, so this will be anyway you are going to visible if you install the plugin. But the only difference is, in the newest version, some plugins will be coming with uh, by default. That's the only difference. So discuss old builds means, suppose this is my job. This is my current job. So in my job, I'll be having around 50 builds. 50 builds I'm going to show you after building that. Oh, okay, let me show you that better. Let me save this job. If I open this, so I'll be having 57 builds. So if I click on, then job will be triggered. So like this, 50, 57, 50, this will be growing. Old discard old build means, suppose I'll be giving condition like, I'll be giving condition like, for 1 week, I should have only these number of jobs, and to this number of days. If I keep 7 days, and if I keep only 40 jobs need to be there, so what will be happening here? So if you give 7 days, in the 7 days, if the build happen more than 100 jobs, but it will be not going to store those 100 jobs. It will be storing only 40 jobs. So that is that is the meaning of the discard old means. So it will discard the old builds. If it is more than 40 builds, so how many builds are there after 40, those many jobs builds will be going to delete. So you don't want to maintain the old logs, right? So that the meaning of this discuss old bins. But one thing you need to remember, that suppose if in one day around for 30 jobs are built, and remaining that 10 jobs built by yesterday or day before yesterday, so that it will be not going to store those 7 days. I mean, the remaining 4 days will also be deleted. So the main motive of that, only 40 bills need to be stored. It doesn't matter if it is a 3 days or 4 days or 5 days. It doesn't mean. The main condition is 40 days. So that's it will be going to store only 40 days. It will be useful when you're dealing with if you don't want to increase your build data, so that in that case you can give this one. So as of now, no, let me give 40 ones. See, the old base are deleted because I given condition like I should have only 40 jobs. So that's why it will be deleting the previous jobs. So sorry, previous bits. previously I was having from the 1 to from 1 to 50 is 58, but if I build now, it has deleted. If I again build now, so what will be happening? The last will be, let it build. See, see, two jobs are deleted because I think here two builds are happen. I click on. So if I click again, the last one will be deleted. So it will maintain only 40 bits. If I count to these bits, it will be getting 40 bits. You can also calculate. So that is the meaning of that discard all bits. Then GitHub project. You can also configure your GitHub repo here. I mean, you can also configure here and here. But here you can configure only public repos. So if you have a public repo, you can configure here. But if you have a private repo or you'll be having a credential based repo, then you have to configure that repo here. So that's, I mean, you can also okay, then this I will delete this one. So this build requires lockable resource. This is the tricky one. It's your this I'll be explaining anyway. So lockable resources means suppose let me give an example. The printer, it's so easy to understand because that. So lockable resource means you'll be in your office, you'll be using the printer, right? So if you request print any file to be printed, then and at that time some other employees also request for the printer. So what will be there if that person requested by before you, then your job will be in the queue. So how many number of employees are request for the printer? So the first one will be the first request will be printed. The remaining jobs will be in the queue. So it will be printed one by one. So but if I have a necessity, like I should whenever I require to be print, so I should able to print. So what I'll be doing, so I'll be lock that printer to my to my host only. When I will be locking that printer so that no people can able to use that printer. So this if you if this job has any dependency to to run, and but that dependency will be using by the other employees, other developers. So if you run this job, then this job will be in the queue state. I mean, maybe in the suspended state. So until that other developer will be released, until the other development to be released, so your job will be in the queue. But your job is critical. You should run this job at any cost. So what you are going to do? You will be lock that resource, that dependency, so that nobody will be going to use that dependency until you release. So that is the one. You need to mention that type of dependency or resource type, so that nobody will be going to use that resource. So that will be useful for that. This project is parameterized. So this parameter, suppose you're running in this job, but you wanted to pass some parameters like, let me give you example. Choice parameter, yeah, this is best. So select any environment. So I'll be giving the choices dev environment, dev, staging, and prod. You can give any mandatory. That's it. See, here you will be getting build with parameter. Previously it was having build, but here build with parameters, because I passed the parameters. So I need to select this type of environment. So according to that staging, the job will be triggered production, like that. If I build, the job will be happening the same thing only, but this will be useful. We know when you write in a script, you have given the type of environment, So according to that, based on the type of job the user has selected, so it will be triggered. Suppose if you wanted to deploy this application onto the development server, so if the user select this development environment, so this job is going to be deployed onto the development server. But if the developer has selected a different environment, so that the script is not going to execute, because developer has selected different environment, which is not written in that script. So that will be useful when you're dealing with the environment. Not only this, you can select, you can write any type of choice parameter. You can select the true, false also. So that is parameterized. Uh, Thwarted build means, suppose you have that admin Jenkins admin decided to be when how many jobs need to build at a particular time. Suppose if the Jenkins admin set it to the 1 hour, in a 1 hour only these builds need to be triggered, these many number of builds need to be triggered. Suppose if I give 1 hour, or I can give the minute, in a minute only 2 jobs need to be triggered by any developer. So any developer, so that if 2 jobs be triggered in a minute, not and the other developer triggered the job again, the third job or fourth job triggered, those are not going to be uh, run the job. Those will be in the queue, that in the it will be waiting for in the queue. So if that minute up compares, then the remaining jobs will be triggered. The remaining jobs will also have the same condition, 2 jobs. So the queue, in the queue there are 4 jobs. So only two in that minute, the only 2 jobs will be triggered. The remaining two jobs will be waiting for the next minute. So that is based on condition, the job will be triggered. So you can give anything. So this will be useful when you are give the limitation, when, like, suppose uh, you don't want to put load on your server, this Jenkins server, you don't want to put load, since if you give unlimited permissions to be built, so all the developers will be going to trigger the jobs as and when. So that the if multiple jobs run at a time, so maybe the Jenkins server may be impacted. So maybe it will be down or crash something. The worst thing will be happen. So you wanted to limit the resources, then you can give this throttle option. So disable this project means uh, uh, you are disabling this project, means so nobody able to trigger this build. So this job, see, in the Jenkins, what are the jobs will be there, that is going to be triggered by other developers also. But what you are thinking, you don't want to run this project, maybe this job is configured in some other jobs, so that job is triggered, so automatically this job also be triggered, since this job is configured in that job. So when the other job is triggered, then automatically this current job is to be triggered without any manual interaction. We are clicking on the build, right? So without clicking on that, we already configured this job in the some other job, so that it automatically trigger that job. But what you're thinking, like, you don't want to be trigger this job, because you are not completed fully this, you have some work to do in this job. So in that case, you can disable this project. If you disable this project, you can't see this the build option. See, where is that? See, here there is no build option. So that is about build job, disable job. So that is execute concurrent builds if necessary, means, suppose if you give authority to uh, execute concurrent builds, even there is no changes in the job in the repo, so jobs will be triggered multiple times. So that you want to enable this job, then you need to select this execute concurrent builds. I mean, I mean that, in the GitHub repo, the build need to be triggered when there is a modification in the repo to the previous job. So if there is no modification, what is the use of to trigger the build? So that is why people don't select this concurrent builds. But it will be useful, when you're dealing with this job need to be, you don't want to um, you want to be trigger this job always, even there is no modification or there is a modification. So it doesn't matter that the main condition is that should be triggered. The job, it doesn't mean that job to be dealing with not only repository. Maybe you may configure some other options in the build section. You can configure build options, or maybe you want to impose like you don't want, you don't have any changes in the current job, but maybe this job is dependent to the other job. So because of this job, that job is triggering. So maybe in that case you can you want to be execute this concurrently, so that at least other job to be will be able to trigger. So in that case maybe you can select this job. Quit period means uh, suppose you have cloned the job, clone the repo into a local system, and you push the code, you some modification, and you push the code to the GitHub repo. But the pushing part is won't be done in a second. Of course, if you're dealing with a small scale project, then you may push to the within a second. But if you're having the big project, and it will take some time to push to the GitHub repo. So if you don't if you don't select this quit period, so your Jenkins server is selected by whenever there is a modification in GitHub repo, then this job need to be triggered. You given that kind of condition in the Jenkins in this job, so that whenever the changes happen on the GitHub repo, this job will be triggered. But the problem is when you are pushing to the GitHub repo, but it is taking some time to be completely pushed to the GitHub repo. But what Jenkins will do, at the first push, at the first modification, then this job will be cloned. I mean, this job will be triggered. I mean, it trigger means it will be cloning that GitHub repo from the what are the job repo you configured. It will start cloning the code with even there is even that is not completely pushed, but it will just change. Just detect the change. At least one change it will be detect, and it will try to clone that, and it will start the build. But the push is not yet completed. So if you don't give this quit period, so it will at the first modification only it will clone, and it will trigger the build, and if it may fails, because the complete project not yet been cloned, right? So the developer is still pushing it. I mean, the pushing process is still going on. So if you select this one, and if you select the 5 seconds, and if you given 5 seconds, if the push is happened to the GitHub repo, the Jenkins job won't trigger right away. It will wait for 5 seconds. So within 5 seconds, obviously the job will be pushed. I mean, that code will be pushed to the repo. So after 5 seconds, the job will be triggered. When it will start cloning. You can give the condition based on the time it may take. So if you give 10, then 10 seconds will be waiting. Then after pushing 10 seconds, after pushing that, then after 10 seconds, it will be cloned. So that is about quit period. So retry means it will try to request to the GitHub repo. So I mean, if you configure GitHub repo, Git means obviously it will request to the that repo. So it will try to request to the GitHub repo, but there is no response from the GitHub repo. It will try to request again. So if I give 3 times, it will try to request 3 times. So if even after 3 tries, it won't be there is no response from the GitHub repo, then the build will be failed. So that is about it. When if you don't select, then at the first request itself there is no response, then build will be failed. So you want to request 3-4 times. I mean, based on the condition you can give. So that is retry count. Block build when upstream project is building. Block build means you have configured this job in upstream or downstream project, and you don't want to be trigger the build by this way, by this current job. Then you can disable that. This is, you can suppose this job is configured in upstream project, and if that job is triggered, and obviously this job is also be triggered, so you don't want to be happen that. So then you can block that upstream project, downstream project. You may get the doubt, we can also disable project, right? So if you disable this project, then entire project will be disabled. But here the condition is only upstream project. If this job is configured in upstream jobs or downstream project, in that case only you want to block this project. So that is about upstream downstream project. Use custom workspace means this Jenkins job will be storing the default workspace like var lib Jenkins. So this job will be storing the data, will be storing the default path, but you want to be have separate path to this current job, so that it be storing separately into the Linux server, so that you can give that path will be, you can give here like opt directory or some home directory like that. So that is customer workspace. So whenever the cloning happens, the cloning will be happening in this path, in this workspace. So this is about customer workspace. And the display name is just renaming the job name. So here dev job one is there. I'll be giving like temp. So if I save this one, my job name will be changed. So that, like that. You can also do the rename, but it will completely going to be rename. You see, if I remove this one, then whatever the previous job name will be there, that is going to be get, like, see, I didn't do anything, I just removed the job name, so my previous job name will be coming here. So this is really useful when you are you wanted to give some name for the some some time period, so that you can give that. Keep the build logs means if you want to store the dependencies logs also, instead of not only the current job build logs, and you also want to store the dependency logs, whatever the job dependencies will be using this current job, so that those logs will be stored in the log section. And this is the source code management, where we configure our VCS tool here. So here we are getting Git, since the Git plugin already installed on this server, and you are dealing with some other repos, some other VCS tools like Subversion or Mercurial or CVS. So you need to install that plugin, and that plugin will be going to get here. So anyway, I'm going to deal with the Git. Even Bitbucket, if you are using Bitbucket also, Git is sufficient. Since Git and Bitbucket both are same, but the product is different. That's it. The functionality is same, and the common source is also same. So as I told you, we can also configure multiple branches here. There we have in the type of job, we will be having the multi branch configuration. So here we can also select multiple branches. If I add, then I can able to add another branch. And another section, build trigger. So this build trigger defines, like, when you want to be trigger this job, based on the token, or based on the time period, or based on the changes happen on the GitHub repo. So based on that, you can, if you configure this job in other job, so in that way you want to be trigger this job, then in that way you can configure this in the build trigger. So I'll be going to discuss one by one. So this is the first option, trigger build remotely. This is useful when you don't want to give access to the some particular developer, or maybe you don't want you want to trigger this job, but you don't want to log into this job, since you want to run this job by the script basis. So that you can whenever you run the script, this job need to be triggered. So instead of going into the Jenkins dashboard and clicking on the job section, so you can create a tokens here, like, you can give some name here. Let me give a demo. This is a token name, where you need to give the token name here. You need to replace token name by this name, and you need to give the Jenkins URL. Jenkins URL means this one. This is a Jenkins URL, and job you can keep as like that, and build. Just give the Jenkins. Let me give this. So I want to trigger this build by the token. So I'll copy this one, and I'll give here. I've just I'm going to change the token name by demo, because I given demo as a token name. uh, where is that? Yeah. So I will replace Jenkins URL by this. This is IP address with port number. Okay, done. We are ready with token. Let me save this one. So if I don't save, then the changes won't be reflected. That's it. So as of now, we will be having 61 bits. So if I trigger this, I will just enter this one. That's it. Just observe here. See, job is triggered. So in this way, you want to trigger without logging into that. You may configure this this job you wanted to be triggered during the script run. So you can configure, you can give this token, this URL in your script, then you can run. Simple. And another, where this. So this is built remotely. And one more thing, if you don't understand anything, you can click on this one. So it is going to explain everything. So no worries about the explanation part. So build after other build projects are built. So here the name is saying build after other projects are built. Suppose I have another jobs. So if I configure this job into the in that job, so based on that triggering, the job trigger will be happen. You can also configure in this section, like suppose you can I have some jobs, dev job 1 and some dev job 2. Okay, so I have dev job 1. Oh, so this is the current dev job 1, right? So I'll be selecting some test job. So yeah, the test job 1. These are the job. You can give the multiple job names, test job 1 or test job 2. So I'll be giving only one job as of now. So here what is going to happen? So if I trigger this test job 1, this current job will be going to trigger. See, test I have given test job 1. Don't worry about no, this error. It is not taking. If I apply, save, and you can give the based on this condition only. Build is stable or unstable or build fails. Stable means successful. Unstable means if there is any suspension or maybe not fail or not success, the build is stuck due to some response. So that is what trigger even if the build stays. So I'm given the condition only build fail, build success, then only then my this current job need to be triggered. So test job 1. Here what is happening here, upstream project is going on. This is what does it mean? This is upstream project, means this is called parent job. So when parent job is run, then this current job is going to be run. So here the current job is child, parent job is, because the the main trigger is happening here. So that is why we are calling it a parent job. I mean upstream up job. So that is, so if I save, and remember we have only 62 builds here. So I'm not going to build this, but I'm going to build test job 1. So I'm going to trigger this build. So dev job 1. Oh, sorry. Don't worry. Forget about this one downstream project because I configured in this job. So I'm going to trigger this below. It is waiting the build queue. Yeah, yeah. Build is triggered. See, started by upstream project test job 1. Build number 63. Oh, sorry. Forget about this one. This one. Just focus on this one. This part. Started by upstream project means this project is triggered by test job 1. I didn't click on this test job 1. I didn't click on this one, but this build this job is triggered by upstream project, by this project. Start upstream. Sorry, this process going to be repeated since I given the condition like when that job is triggered, this job need to be triggered. When this job triggered, then that job need to be triggered. So so this is keep on this is going to be triggered infinite loop. So that's why I need to remove any for one. See, this process is going to repeat it because I configured in that configured as a upstream project to test job one and downstream project to that dev job one. So this is going to be happen repeatedly. So that's why I removed for one of the jobs. Still, it is showing the downstream project. So let me remove to that as well. Dev job one. Where is that? Sure. It's okay. Sure. I'm going to remove this one. So that is about the other projects of it. Okay, fine. Uh, I know you're definitely confused with this, but this okay. So okay, fine. So I'll be giving that downstream project, upstream project to this, so that you'll be understand clearly. So I'll be giving that unknown project to this. So when that happen, that build is trigger, this current job will be going to trigger. So that's so in this no builds has happened. So now I'm going to trigger this unknown one build now. Build this one triggering new build change it. See here it is saying triggering build this one because it is configured in that in this job where changes occurred here. See previously no builds, here build as trigger. See started the upstream project unknown build number 3. See like this. Don't worry about the failing part since I did some wrong configuration in this job. So that's why. See here I select the git, but I didn't give anything. So that's why the error means. So next means build periodically. Build periodical means here the cron section will become cron section. Cron tab means if I give star, 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 and star. So each star defines order ways. The first one, this first section defines minutes. The second hours. Third star defines date of month. Fourth month. Next date, last one date of week. So where zero from the Sunday zero is Sunday, one is Monday, Tuesday, like that. So if I give one here, sorry, need to give space. So if I give one, so star means every time. I mean every day, every minute, every hour, every month, like that. So if you give one means the bill is going to trigger. Here zero means Sunday, one means Monday. So I have given one. So this bill is going to trigger every Monday. Every Monday is this bill going to be triggered. So and if you want to trigger every minute, this minute, where is the minute section? Here it is defined the minute section. So if I give star, then this bill is going to trigger every minute. So you can also see here, do you really mean every minute? When you say perhaps you mean to poll once per hour, so means this bill is going to be happen every minute, like that. So that is build periodical. But here you need to observe means the build periodical, and you can also give the timing also. Suppose I want to trigger this at uh, fifth minute, uh, fourth hour. So this bill is going to trigger every day at 4 a.m. 4 a.m. 5 5 minutes. So this build is going to trigger, let me give example, every day 4:05 a.m. So this is defines this one every day, but you wanted to specific to the month, uh, suppose September 10th, September 9, right? 9. So this is ninth month, and uh, sorry, date. So I need to give the date I need to give. So 15th, which month? 15th, September month. You can give the 0 also, 09. And date of week, doesn't mind. You can give the every day. So this build is going to trigger. See, September 15, September 9 means September, 15 means date. Uh, this is wrong time. Obviously, it is going to trigger the 2020 only. Oh, sorry. Here's the main time, exact time. UT. But you need to remember this is a UTC time. You have to give the based on the your IST time. So this build is going to trigger 4 a.m. 5th minute 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Don't worry about the seconds. So it will become like that. So if you don't understand this one, you can also use the browser Chrome tab like that. You can use this section. So here you can change any time, and you can see here the time. Suppose if I want trigger this at 6 8 minutes 6 p.m. Which minute? 6 p.m. 5th minute. And day means I'm going to give 16th September. Month 9th, I'm going to give 9th September. Here you can give anything. You'll be going to do it is going to trigger every, sorry, I need to give the day. Day, forget about it. It is going to trigger on that. See, so this build is defines at 5. Oh, I think it is converting the UTC. So we have given in the sorry, this is maybe UTC time, and this is the maybe Indian time, so IST time. So that you can use by this. So if you give the date, day of week, suppose if I give Monday means 01. So which time it defines on that year it is going to trigger. So on the Monday, maybe we are not sure, right? On the Monday, this day will come, this time will come. Right? On Monday, maybe we'll be getting some 17 or 18. So whenever this time is exactly defines, at that time is going to be triggered. Maybe in the next year or maybe after next year. So that so you forget about this time. Day of it, you just give the star. So whenever this 16 is come, on this time it is going to trigger. So that is about cron tab. So here build periodical and pole SCM both are same, both are define same thing, but only difference between build and periodic and pole SCM, pole SCM will be triggered only when there is any change on the GitHub repo. So someone is modified, and Jenkins will be triggered on the time. And I mean, if there is during the time. So if I give next week, if I trigger this, schedule the time for the next week. So in this next week, if there is any changes, then only it is going to trigger. But you want to trigger even there is no change. Suppose I schedule on the next week, but there is no change in these days. In 7 days there is no change, but still it's going to trigger this build periodical. So I'm going to show you, but it will take time. We need to wait. Okay, let me select this one. I will remove this one. I'll be given the star. So for every minute it's going to trigger even there is no change. See, as of now we have only one. We should wait 1 minute. Oh, sorry, got it. See, bill is triggered. I didn't do anything. If I wait again, I didn't do any modification, but still the bill again, the new bill is going to be triggered. We need to wait one minute for that. So we are going to wait 1 minute. So meanwhile, I'm going to explain this one. So this is back to dashboard. We'll be going to the Jenkins dashboard. Status means for this. This is the status. What is the bill status? If I click on it on this, I'll be getting the status. See this one. Changes, if there is any changes between to the between the builds, then that is going to show you in changes. Workspace means the data. If you configure GitHub repo, so in this workspace the data will be going to store. Means it will be, if there is a clone is happening, so the clone will be stored, that content will be stored in the workspace. If you can see here. So I didn't configure anything in this job, so that see, build is happened. You can also see the status started by the timer. So who has started this one? Timer, because we set the time. So that's why it is started by the time. So if there is no modification, the build is triggered. So that is about build periodically. If I select poll SCM, build never going to be triggered unless you modify anything. So if I give anything star star star, build won't be triggered because I didn't do any modification. So if you configure Git, then it will be going to trigger the data will be stored in the workspace. And here GitHub trigger means when there is any change, right away the build need to be triggered. So that is GitHub trigger for Git SCM. So okay, let me give the example as well. Maybe I need to take a full scheduled. So configure. Wait, I'm going to select this. So I'll be going to discuss. Just wait a minute. Let me log in. Suppose if I configure this one, this repo. Sorry, this one. Okay. Then I need to configure the GitHub webhook. Go to the settings, and here you can see the webhook, and you need to give the add webhook. Here you need to give the URL, and here you need to add this one, GitHub webhook. If you don't give it, then it won't be seen. And select the JSON. That's it. So if I do any modification, I need to select the Git SCM, save it. So we have 68 as of now. So if I do any modification, I'll give some data. Commit changes. See, bill is triggered. So because I modified something on the report, so the bill is going to be triggered. So that is about webhook bill trigger. So remaining I'm going to discuss in the next video. So this build environment and remaining part I'm going to discuss next video. So please watch that video as well. Bye bye.